Now that we've got our extension converted so that it can be installed here within Adobe Extension Manager CC, the Creative Cloud version, that's what we're going to look at first of all. And then, as we progress, we'll look at something called the Adobe Exchange. And this Adobe Exchange is a free service provided by Adobe, whereby you can access either free or paid for extensions. Anyway, we'll get to that as we progress. For the moment, we'll start off by installing our extension here. And as you can see, this CC version of the Extension Manager looks pretty much the same as the previous version. You'll see all your Adobe programs running down here on the left-hand side, and in my case you'll see all these different programs doubled up, owing to the fact that I'm running 32-bit and 64-bit versions of them. Anyway, let's go about installing this Mirage extension that we converted in the previous tutorial. Now, just to make sure I don't have it installed at the moment, I could use the search field up here and type in Mirage. In actual fact, I don't even need to get as far as MIR. So clearly, there are no extensions installed with MIR in the name. Let me just clear this field by clicking on the cross here. Okay then, what do we do when we want to install the extension? Well, you could come here to File and then roll down to the first option, Install Extension. Alternatively, a quicker way of doing this is by coming over to the right-hand side at the top up here and then simply clicking on here where it says Install. As soon as you do, you're now going to see this Select Extension to Install dialog box. You might need to navigate to the particular folder on your hard drive. As it is, this has opened this ready for me, and there is my extension. So, all I need to do is select it and then run down here and click on Open. I'm not sure why it says Open. In my mind, really that should say Install. Anyway, it does say Open, so I will click on it. And as soon as I do, then I'll see this license arrangement here within the Adobe Extension Manager. You'll see two tabs across the top, License and Description. I'll click back on License. There is quite a lot to read here. Do scroll down to check it all out. But once you are happy with the license agreement, all you need to do is click on Accept. Dependent on how large the extension is, this might take some time. As it is with this Mirage extension, it's quite quick. And as soon as it is installed, then of course you're going to see it down here. And that will mean from this point on, whenever I open up Dreamweaver CC, then this extension, Mirage, will be available to me. Now, as I said at the beginning of the tutorial, we're also going to look at something called the Adobe Exchange. And a quick way of accessing the Exchange is by coming up here, where it says Exchange, and clicking. That will take you to the Adobe Exchange webpage, where you can download Exchange. More about that in a little bit. Alternatively, you can go straight to it via Adobe's website. Just go to adobe.com and search for Dreamweaver Exchange Classic. When you launch that, this is what you'll see, the Dreamweaver Exchange Classic page. Now do be warned, you can spend quite a bit of time here just browsing around. You can either look at the staff picks here, and these are extensions that Adobe staff have chosen, or if you want to have a look at the most recent ones which have been uploaded, then of course you would click on here, Most Recent. There are two other tabs, Most Popular and Highest Rated. Whichever tab you are looking at, then of course you can scroll down to see all the various different extensions available to you. Now some of these you have to pay for, but also some of these are free. If you find yourself somewhat overwhelmed with all the available extensions, then you can use this Search Dreamweaver field here. For example, if you are looking for a menu extension, then type in Menu, click on Search, and sure enough you'll find all the different extensions with the word Menu in the title. And you'll also notice that if the word Download appears on the button just to the right of the actual extension, then that indicates that that particular extension is free for use, whereas anything with a Buy button, of course, indicates that you will have to pay for that particular extension. Now, what we're looking at the moment is the web browser version of the Adobe Exchange, and using this method we can browse all these extensions, save them, and then install them as we saw at the beginning of this tutorial. However, there is a different method. We can do the same thing right from within Dreamweaver, but you do need something called the Exchange plugin. If you've only just got your copy of Dreamweaver, it's likely that you will have this particular plugin. However, you might be running a trial, and to be honest, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm guessing that you won't have this Exchange plugin as part of the trial. I might be wrong, but just in case you don't have it, all you need to do is come here, and where it says Get It Now, simply click on here. And this will take you to an information web page, whereby you can learn more about it, and, as you can see by that download button there, you can do just that. Now you'll also get to the download page by clicking on the Exchange button in the Exchange Manager. Once you download it, you will need to restart Dreamweaver. Now as it is, I don't need to because I have already got it installed. So let's flick back over to Dreamweaver and I'll show you how to access this once you do have it installed. Come up to your menu right across the top and go up to the penultimate option, Window, and then roll down here about 3/4 of the way down to where it says Extensions, and then you'll see this flyout option, Adobe Exchange. Once you select it, then you'll see this floating panel. In the next chapter, we'll talk through different panels and how we can change them from being a floating panel, as we've got at the moment, into what's known as a docked panel. For the moment, don't panic if this seems to be jumping the gun a little. We are going to go through this. Anyway, let me just expand this. I can do it by left-clicking on the edge here and dragging to the right, thus making this Adobe Exchange panel take up a larger footprint on the screen. Now I'm going to finish up for this tutorial now that we've got this far, and in the next tutorial I'll go through this Adobe Exchange panel with you in further detail.